Across the vast expanse of our planet, there are remote stretches of ocean where nature reveals its most unforgiving and untamed side. These are not the calm, glittering waters seen in postcards, but relentless domains ruled by roaring winds, towering walls of water, and storms that rise without warning, swallowing the horizon in moments. Here, the sea is alive with power, unpredictable, immense, and utterly indifferent to those who dare to cross it. In these regions, the sky can darken in a matter of minutes, transforming from clear blue to a churning mass of storm clouds. Beneath the surface, powerful currents twist and collide, creating invisible forces that can pull even the strongest vessels off course. The boundary between challenge and danger becomes razor thin, where one miscalculation, one moment of hesitation, can spiral into catastrophe. For centuries, sailors have spoken of these waters with a mixture of fear and deep respect, marking them on maps not just as locations, but as warnings. They understood that out here, survival is never guaranteed. Every journey through these extreme seas becomes a true test of human endurance. The ocean does not yield easily. Waves crash against the hull with the crushing force of falling cliffs, sending tremors through the entire vessel. The relentless pounding of water, the deafening roar of the wind, and the constant motion create an environment where fatigue is inevitable and focus is everything. Navigation turns into a battle of precision and instinct as storms interfere with instruments and visibility dissolves into sheets of rain and blinding spray. Even the most seasoned crews, those who have spent years mastering the rhythms of the sea, find themselves pushed to their limits. In these moments, skill alone is not enough. Survival depends on a delicate balance of discipline, intuition, and unwavering determination. Every decision matters. Every adjustment can mean the difference between staying on course and being lost to the chaos. Out here, control is an illusion, something that can vanish as quickly as a calm before a storm. To endure, one must adapt constantly, reading the subtle changes in wind, wave, and sky. And yet, it is precisely within these harsh and unforgiving waters that the true spirit of exploration is revealed. Humans have never been content to remain within the boundaries of safety. We are drawn to the unknown, compelled to cross these dangerous seas not because they are easy, but because they stand as gateways to discovery. Beyond them lie new horizons, new knowledge, and the enduring promise of understanding a world that is far greater than ourselves. Every storm weathered becomes a story of resilience. Every mile gained against the odds is a testament to courage. These journeys are not just about reaching a destination, they are about confronting fear, pushing beyond perceived limits, and proving that even in the face of overwhelming natural forces, the human spirit refuses to yield. This is the journey through the world's most extreme seas, a confrontation with raw, unfiltered nature in its most powerful form. It is a test of strength, skill, and endurance, where every moment demands respect for the forces at play. And above all, it is a reminder that discovery has never come without risk. It has always required stepping into the unknown, facing the elements head-on, and daring to continue forward when turning back would be the safer choice. There is a silence that only the Atlantic truly understands, a deep, ancient quiet that lingers just beneath its endless blue surface. But this silence is never empty. It hums with tension, with a restless energy waiting to rise. Beneath that vast expanse lies a world shaped by chaos and power, a place where nature reveals some of its most violent and unpredictable moods. For centuries, sailors have feared the Atlantic, not because of its sheer size, but because of its ever-changing nature. One moment, it can appear calm and inviting, its waters reflecting the sky like glass. The next, it transforms without warning into a raging force, merciless and unforgiving. The Atlantic is a paradox, a source of life and connection, yet equally a force capable of unimaginable destruction. From the icy, storm-lashed waters off Newfoundland to the warm and volatile regions of the Caribbean, this ocean becomes a stage for relentless natural disasters. It is here that opposing currents, cold and warm, collide in an invisible battle, creating the perfect conditions for chaos to be born. Beneath the surface, heat gathers quietly until it releases its fury. Hurricanes begin as faint disturbances, almost unnoticeable, before growing into massive spiraling systems, towering walls of wind and water capable of swallowing entire coastlines. Winds can scream at speeds exceeding 250 kilometers per hour, carrying with them sheets of rain and violent energy. Waves rise like moving mountains, higher than buildings, crashing down with a force that can tear ships apart. Lightning splits the darkness, illuminating the sky like veins of fire, turning night into brief flashes of blinding light. In the North Atlantic, the danger takes on a colder, more haunting form. Winter storms merge seamlessly with the sea, creating blizzards that blur the line between ocean and sky. Freezing rain lashes against anything in its path, while razor-sharp winds cut through even the strongest vessels. Rogue waves, massive, unpredictable walls of water, emerge without warning, striking with devastating force. Fog drifts thick and suffocating, swallowing entire ships in seconds. Even with modern technology, the ocean remains unpredictable. Storms can form suddenly, as if the sea itself has awakened, alive and furious. These are the same waters that once claimed the Titanic, and countless other ships whose remains still lie hidden beneath the cold, dark depths. Farther south, near the mysterious mid-Atlantic ridge, another kind of danger lurks, one that cannot be seen from above. Beneath the ocean floor, tectonic plates shift and grind against each other. Hidden volcanoes rise silently, and earthquakes ripple through the seabed. When they strike, they can trigger tsunamis, massive waves that travel across entire oceans in eerie silence before crashing violently onto distant shores. Scientists often call this the heartbeat of the planet, a powerful, rhythmic force capable of both creation and destruction. It builds new land even as it erases what already exists. Yet perhaps the most unsettling truth is this: the Atlantic is changing. It never truly rests, but now its storms are growing stronger, its tides rising higher, its behavior becoming more extreme with each passing year. As global temperatures climb, the ocean absorbs that heat, fueling storms that form faster and intensify more rapidly than ever before. What was once a pathway for explorers, guiding them to new lands and new beginnings, now threatens to redraw the very edges of continents. Entire coastlines stand at risk, slowly being reshaped or erased by the ocean's relentless advance. To cross the Atlantic is not just a journey across water, it is a confrontation with nature in its rawest form. It is standing at the edge of human control and realizing just how fragile that control truly is. The Atlantic is more than an ocean. It is a living force, breathing through waves, speaking through storms, and reminding us again and again that the greatest power on earth is not what we build or command, but what waits unseen and unstoppable beneath the surface. Beneath the vast, tranquil surface of the Pacific lies a world that is anything but still, a hidden realm where immense natural forces are constantly in motion, shaping, colliding, and rebuilding the face of the earth. What appears calm from above conceals an untamed engine of energy, one that has, time and again, reminded humanity of its overwhelming power. Nowhere else on the planet do natural disasters unfold with such scale, intensity, and raw force. Among them, the most familiar, yet most feared, are the typhoons. These colossal storms are born quietly, almost invisibly, over the warm waters near the equator. At first, they are nothing more than gentle spirals of wind and cloud, drifting across the ocean's surface. But as they draw heat from the tropical seas, they begin to grow faster, stronger, and more organized, feeding on energy that seems limitless. Within days, they can transform into monstrous systems of rotating fury, with winds that can exceed 300 kilometers per hour. Entire walls of cloud spiral inward toward a calm, deceptive eye, while the outer bands unleash torrential rain, violent gusts, and towering waves. Names like Haiyan, Goni, Hagibis, and Utor are not just labels. They are etched into history as symbols of devastation. These storms have flattened cities, erased entire communities, and permanently altered coastlines. In their wake, landscapes are reshaped, lives are upended, and the sheer vulnerability of human civilization is laid bare. A typhoon is not merely a weather event, it is the ocean itself, awakened and enraged, drawing strength from the very heat that sustains life in the tropics. Yet the fury of the Pacific does not end with the storms above. Beneath the surface, far from sight, another kind of danger silently builds. The ocean floor is a restless boundary where massive tectonic plates converge, collide, and grind against one another in a region known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. It is here that the majority of the world's most powerful earthquakes are born. When these plates suddenly shift, the consequences can be catastrophic. The seafloor may rise or fall in an instant, displacing vast volumes of water and unleashing tsunamis, waves of extraordinary scale and speed. Unlike ordinary waves, tsunamis carry their energy across entire ocean basins, traveling at speeds comparable to a jet aircraft. In deep water, they may pass unnoticed, but as they approach land, they rise, growing into towering walls of water that can reach tens of meters in height. The 2011 Tohoku tsunami in Japan stands as one of the most haunting reminders of this unstoppable force. In a matter of moments, the ocean surged inland, swallowing towns, sweeping away infrastructure, and leaving behind a landscape of devastation. It was a stark demonstration that even the most advanced societies are not immune to the power of nature when it is unleashed without warning. Deeper still, in the lightless depths of the ocean, underwater volcanoes continue their slow, relentless work. Hidden from view, they erupt with tremendous force, pouring molten rock onto the seafloor and gradually reshaping the underwater landscape. Over time, these eruptions can give rise to entirely new islands, vast mountain chains, and intricate coral ecosystems. They are both creators and destroyers, releasing energy that can alter not only the ocean floor, but also the atmosphere above. In 2022, the eruption of Hunga Tonga sent shockwaves rippling across the globe. The explosion was so powerful that its pressure waves circled the Earth multiple times, while towering plumes of ash and gas surged upward, reaching the very edge of space. It was a dramatic reminder that even in the most remote corners of the ocean, forces of extraordinary magnitude are constantly at work. And above all these events, the Pacific Ocean plays an even greater role, one that extends far beyond storms, earthquakes, and eruptions. It acts as a regulator of the planet's climate, influencing weather patterns across continents through the cyclical phenomena known as El Niño and La Niña. As ocean temperatures shift, so too do winds and currents, redistributing heat and moisture around the globe. The result is a delicate balance, one that can bring life-giving rains to some regions while plunging others into severe drought. Through these cycles, the Pacific connects distant lands in ways that are both subtle and profound. A change in its waters can ripple outward, affecting agriculture, ecosystems, and entire economies thousands of kilometers away. It is a reminder that the ocean is not separate from us. It is deeply intertwined with the systems that sustain life on Earth. Every storm that forms, every earthquake that shakes the seafloor, every wave that crashes against a shore serves as a powerful reminder of the living energy of our planet. These are not isolated events, but expressions of a dynamic Earth, constantly evolving, endlessly powerful, and far beyond human control. The Pacific Ocean stands as both the cradle of life and the forge of destruction. It is a realm where creation and chaos exist side by side, where beauty and danger are inseparable. Here, nature reigns supreme and humanity, no matter how advanced, can only watch in awe, humbled by the infinite, untamed power of the world's greatest ocean. There is a place at the bottom of the world where the oceans collide, a place where the winds never rest, where waves rise taller than buildings, and where countless ships have vanished into the deep. That place is Cape Horn, the southernmost tip of South America and the most feared stretch of ocean on Earth. For centuries, sailors called it the end of the world. To reach it was to face nature in its purest and most merciless form. Here, at the meeting point of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, two giants of the planet clash endlessly, their opposing currents and winds creating a storm corridor unlike anywhere else. The seas churn with a wild, chaotic energy, cold, gray, and unpredictable. One moment, calm, the next, a wall of water crashes with the force of a falling mountain. The geography of Cape Horn conspires against those who dare to pass. Towering cliffs and narrow channels funnel the wind into furious gusts that can exceed 200 kilometers per hour. Massive waves, rogue waves, appear without warning, capable of swallowing entire vessels. Beneath the surface lies a labyrinth of reefs and submerged rocks, waiting like silent predators. Icebergs drift north from Antarctica, invisible in the fog, turning every mile into a gamble between life and death. Those who have faced Cape Horn speak of it with a mix of awe and fear. The old sailors once said the ocean here had a voice, a roar that could be heard long before the storm arrived. Masts splintered, sails tore apart, and men vanished in freezing spray. Many never returned. The bottom of these waters is said to be a graveyard of ships. Even today, with modern technology, Cape Horn remains a trial few attempt. It is the final test for round-the-world sailors, a place that demands respect, humility, and skill. To navigate these waters is to confront the raw power of the planet itself. The weather can change in minutes, sunlight fading into violent storms, fog closing in without warning. The cold is relentless, cutting through even the thickest layers of protection. Yet for those who survive the passage, the sight of Cape Horn rising from the mist is something few ever forget. The sharp black rock stands like a monument to human endurance, a reminder that exploration has always required courage against impossible odds. Around it, the sea seems alive, as if aware of every soul that dares to cross. Cape Horn is more than a place on a map. It is a threshold between worlds. To the north lies the known, the charted, the safe. To the south stretches the endless wild. Antarctica, storms, and the last untouched waters of the planet. Here, the earth feels ancient, untamed, and magnificent. Sailors say that those who have rounded the horn earn the right to wear an earring in their left ear, a symbol of survival, of having looked into the heart of the ocean and lived to tell the tale. But even they know that Cape Horn can never truly be conquered. It remains what it has always been, the ocean's final challenge, the place where man meets the fury of nature and where the sea still holds the last word. A wilderness shaped by cold, silence, and danger, a continent where nature strikes without warning. In the harshness of Antarctica, the penguin colony braves the freezing cold, determined to search for food. Though hesitant, the danger does nothing to frighten them. Antarctica is one of the most extreme environments on Earth, a vast frozen desert where survival is never guaranteed and where the landscape itself seems carved from another world. Stretching across millions of square kilometers, this icy continent is dominated by glaciers, towering ice shelves, and winds so powerful they can reshape the snow within minutes. Here, nature does not simply exist, it commands. The first thing one notices about Antarctica is its overwhelming scale. Mountains rise from the ice like ancient guardians, their peaks covered by layers of snow untouched for centuries. Endless plains of white stretch towards the horizon, interrupted only by cracks that reveal the dark ocean beneath. Even the sky feels different, broader, emptier, colored by light that seems sharper than anywhere else on the planet. But beneath this beauty lies danger in every direction. The winds can reach hurricane strength, sweeping across the continent with a force capable of lifting snow, gear, and even people. These katabatic winds are born from cold air sliding down from high glaciers, gaining speed as they fall, invisible but deadly. Temperatures can plunge so fast that moisture in the air crystallizes instantly, and the human body loses heat faster than it can replace it. Frostbite, hypothermia, and exhaustion are constant threats. Then there are the blizzards, walls of white that swallow everything in their path. Visibility drops to zero, turning familiar ground into a maze of disorientation. A person can lose their direction within seconds, unable to tell where the sky ends and the ground begins. The horizon vanishes, and the world becomes a uniform sheet of moving snow and howling wind. Beneath the ice, another danger hides. Antarctica's glaciers are always shifting, groaning, and cracking with deep, thunderous echoes. Hidden crevasses open without warning, narrow, dark fractures that fall hundreds of meters into the frozen earth. Covered by thin snow bridges, they can collapse under a single step. Explorers tread carefully, knowing the ground beneath them is never truly solid. The ocean surrounding the continent adds yet another layer of unpredictability. Ice shelves can break apart in colossal slabs, sending shockwaves across the sea. Unstable sea ice forms and disintegrates with the tides, trapping ships or leaving them stranded. The water itself, near freezing, offers no second chances. A fall into these waters can be fatal in minutes. Yet, despite all these dangers, Antarctica holds a strange magnetic allure. Its silence carries weight. Its emptiness invites questions. Every crack in the ice, every distant echo, every shimmering horizon feels like a reminder that this is a place untouched by time, a world that keeps its secrets close. To witness Antarctica is to confront nature at its purest and most powerful, a continent of breathtaking beauty and relentless danger, a place where every moment is a test and every step carries the echo of the unknown. The seas surrounding Antarctica form one of the most unforgiving regions on the planet, a place where nature shows its full force without restraint. Here, the Southern Ocean roars with a power unmatched anywhere else, driven by winds that circle the globe without ever touching land. Waves rise like moving mountains, and the cold cuts with a precision that feels almost deliberate. This is not just an ocean, it is a barrier, a test, and a world shaped entirely by extremes. The first challenge lies in the water itself. Temperatures hover just above freezing, turning every splash into a threat. Salt water mixes with drifting ice, forming fields of broken flows that shift constantly with the tides. These ice formations appear peaceful from a distance, but up close they move unpredictably, colliding, splitting, or rising from below. A single impact is enough to damage even the strongest hulls, and ships must navigate with extreme caution, watching every movement of the ice as if it were alive. Storms descend without warning. Clear skies can collapse into violent winds within minutes, sending waves crashing in every direction. These storms race across the Southern Ocean with brutal speed, trapping vessels in swells so high that the horizon disappears behind walls of water. Freezing spray coats decks in thick layers of ice, making every surface dangerously slick. Machinery stiffens, ropes freeze, and even the simplest task becomes a struggle against the cold. And beneath the surface, another danger waits. Powerful currents snake through the depths, unpredictable and relentless. They can pull ships off course, push them toward hidden icebergs, or create whirlpools where the sea seems to fold in on itself. Many of these currents have been mapped, but some remain mysterious. Forces that move silently through the dark waters revealed only by their effects. Icebergs are the shadows of this sea, massive, silent, and often invisible until it's too late. They drift for kilometers, guided only by wind and current. Most of their mass lies hidden beneath the surface, forming jagged structures capable of tearing through steel. Navigating near them requires precision and constant vigilance. For ships that attempt to travel these waters, survival depends on respect. Respect for the weather, for the cold, and for the sea itself. The Southern Ocean does not tolerate mistakes. Equipment must be reinforced. Crews must remain alert. Every decision must be made with the awareness that conditions can change faster than any vessel can react. Yet despite its dangers, the Antarctic Sea holds a strange magnetic allure. Its isolation, raw beauty, and relentless force make it unlike any other place on Earth. Waves crash against glaciers with thunderous echoes. Mist rises from the water like breath from an ancient creature, and in the distance the ice stretches endlessly toward the horizon, shimmering under pale light. To sail here is to confront nature on its own terms, powerful, unpredictable, and breathtaking. A sea carved by cold, a passage guarded by danger, a world where only the prepared can endure. The Pacific Ocean. Its name means peaceful, Yet beneath that calm lies the most turbulent and powerful realm on Earth. Spanning over 165 million square kilometers, it is the largest ocean in the world, covering nearly half of Earth's total water surface. It stretches from Asia to the Americas, from the Arctic to Antarctica. Across its endless blue expanse, tens of thousands of islands rise like scattered jewels. From the sleeping volcanoes of Japan to the vast coral atolls of Polynesia, the Pacific is not just an ocean. It is a world of civilizations, creatures, and mysteries beyond imagination. Beneath its surface, a colossal geological engine is constantly in motion. Four massive tectonic plates, the Eurasian, Pacific, Indo-Australian, and American plates, collide, slide, and grind against one another, forming the Pacific Ring of Fire. More than 75% of Earth's active volcanoes and nearly 90% of all earthquakes originate within this fiery belt. Above the waves, the Pacific acts as the heartbeat of global climate. Gigantic ocean currents like the Kuroshio, Humboldt, and California current move heat around the planet, shaping weather patterns and ecosystems. Phenomena like El Niño and La Niña, born from these waters, can alter rainfall, drought, and storms across entire continents. Yet beneath the calm, the ocean hides its greatest mysteries. Deep sea trenches such as the Mariana, Tonga, and Kermadec plunge beyond 10,000 meters into depths where no sunlight reaches and pressure could crush steel. And yet, life endures there, thriving under conditions once thought impossible. The Pacific is both the cradle of life and the ultimate frontier of nature's power. Every volcano, every tsunami, every whispering current tells the ancient story of a planet that is still alive, still evolving, still balancing itself. It is an ocean of creation and destruction, where nature does not merely exist, it reigns. A vast, eternal expanse where humanity stands small before the infinite. On the world map, the Pacific Ocean appears vast, calm, and endless. But beneath that serene surface lies some of the most dangerous regions on Earth, where nature reveals its raw, unrestrained power. Across this ocean, massive tectonic plates constantly shift and collide, forming a chain of volcanoes and deep sea faults known as the Pacific Ring of Fire. It is responsible for over 90% of the planet's earthquakes and some of the most catastrophic eruptions in human history. On the surface, the northwestern Pacific becomes a breeding ground for super typhoons, colossal storms fueled by tropical heat, capable of flattening entire coastlines and reshaping the face of nations. Beneath the waves, the ocean floor drops into immense abysses like the Mariana and Tonga trenches, where crushing pressure and unseen seismic forces define one of the most hostile environments known to science. Along the eastern edge of the Pacific, from Chile to California, lies a fragile line of tectonic tension, a frontier where earthquakes can unleash tsunamis that cross oceans in a matter of hours. Meanwhile, at the heart of the Pacific, El Niño and La Niña cycles alter global climate patterns, proving that this ocean's breadth can influence the entire planet. Together, these regions form a living system of energy and motion, a reminder that the Pacific, despite its name, is in truth the most powerful and unpredictable ocean on Earth, a place where nature reigns and humanity stands humbled before its might. The underwater volcanoes and seamount chains of the Pacific Ocean are among the most extraordinary and enigmatic geological features on Earth. Among them, Tamu Massif, the largest underwater volcano ever discovered, stands out. With an area of over 280,000 square kilometers, it is 3 times the size of New Mexico. Formed 145 million years ago, this colossal volcanic formation still holds many secrets. Its immense size and ancient age create a sense of awe and mystery. Could Tamu Massif hide remnants of ancient civilizations, lost treasures, or geological records waiting to be uncovered? Though largely dormant, it remains one of the most significant and unexplored structures beneath the ocean. Similarly, the Emperor Seamount chain stretches for over 1,500 kilometers across the North Pacific. This underwater mountain range was formed over 80 million years ago by volcanic activity. Though most of its volcanoes are now inactive, the tectonic forces in this region remain very much alive. The constant shifting of plate and occasional eruptions continue to reshape the seafloor, creating a dynamic and ever-changing environment beneath the ocean's surface. The Emperor Seamount chain is not only a remarkable natural formation, but also one of the most seismically active regions in the Pacific. It is home to hydrothermal vents and strange bioluminescent creatures that thrive in extreme conditions. Yet, much remains undiscovered. Could there be unknown species adapted to survive in this hostile environment? Or even traces of ancient worlds buried beneath layers of sediment and volcanic rock? Both Tamu Massif and the Emperor Seamount chain represent a vast unexplored frontier in deep sea exploration. Despite advances in technology, much of these underwater landscapes remains a mystery. Every discovery reveals new insights into the forces that shape our planet and the life forms that endure in its harshest environments. What lies hidden in these depths? Could they hold clues to Earth's past or even to life beyond our world? The ocean is vast, and its deepest secrets may still be waiting. Its surface shimmers beneath the golden light of the sun. Waves roll gently, whispering the illusion of peace. But this serenity is only a fragile skin, a thin veil stretched across an abyss that defies imagination. Beneath the surface lies a realm untouched by sunlight, where darkness is absolute, pressure can crush steel like paper, and the very concept of normal life ceases to exist. Hidden in the remote western Pacific, east of the Mariana Islands, lies the Mariana Trench, the deepest known point in Earth's oceans. It is not simply a depression in the seafloor, but a colossal wound in the planet's crust, forged by unimaginable geological forces over millions of years. At its heart lies Challenger Deep, plunging more than 11 kilometers into the Earth, a depth so extreme that if Mount Everest were placed here, its peak would still remain submerged beneath more than a mile of water. For centuries, this place existed only in the whispers of sailors and the theories of scientists, a mythic abyss beyond human reach. The technology required to explore such a hostile world simply did not exist. At the bottom, pressure exceeds 1,000 times that of the surface. Temperatures hover just above freezing, and the darkness is so complete that even the strongest light is swallowed whole. It was not until the mid-20th century that the first attempts were made to descend into this alien world, machines built not for comfort, but for survival. Even now, our visits remain brief, fleeting encounters with a realm that feels as though it is watching us in return. The trench is more than a geological feature. It is a threshold, a gateway into one of the least understood environments on Earth. Along its slopes, cold seeps and mud volcanoes release strange chemical mixtures that sustain life forms unlike anything found on the surface. Creatures here are adapted to conditions that defy comprehension, translucent, bioluminescent, and ancient in form. Some may have remained unchanged for millions of years, surviving in isolation while life above evolved and vanished. And still, the trench keeps its greatest secrets. What lies buried within its silent depths? Are there forms of life that challenge the very definition of biology? Could this abyss hold clues to the origins of life on Earth, or even to life beyond our planet? We stand at the surface, looking out across the ocean, knowing that far below, in the crushing dark, answers may be waiting. Answers that could reshape not only our understanding of the ocean, but our place in the universe. The Mariana Trench is the result of a slow, relentless collision between two massive tectonic plates. For millions of years, forces beyond human scale have carved this immense scar into the seafloor. Here, the Pacific Plate is being forced beneath the smaller Mariana Plate, sinking into the mantle at a rate of only a few centimeters per year. But over geological time, this slow movement has created a trench stretching more than 2,500 kilometers in length. Its walls rise like submerged cliffs, steep and unforgiving. As the plate descends, immense pressure fractures the crust, triggering earthquakes and feeding volcanic activity across the region. This same process gives rise to hydrothermal vents, openings in the Earth's crust where superheated, mineral-rich fluids escape into the ocean. These vents create unique ecosystems where life thrives without sunlight, relying instead on chemical energy. The trench is not just a scar of destruction, it is also a birthplace, a place where new crust forms, where minerals circulate, and where Earth's internal energy is released into the ocean. Every layer of rock, every sediment deposit tells a story, a record of a planet in constant motion.